You're looking at your phone on a random Tuesday night. Your banking app's open. You see a charge for 14 bucks from a streaming service you haven't opened since Obama was in office. You shrug. You tell yourself it's just 14 bucks. It's the price of a mediocre burrito. It's no big deal. But then you decide to actually do the math. You pull up a spreadsheet. You go back through 12 months of bank statements and credit card bills. You log into your Apple account. You check your Google Play history. And your stomach drops. That $14 streaming service isn't alone. It's hanging out with an $8 cloud storage fee you don't use. It's sitting next to a $30 gym membership you abandoned in January. There's a $15 premium weather app, a $12 password manager you forgot the master password to, and a $25 monthly delivery pass whose only job is to make your takeout habit more expensive. You thought you were spending maybe 80 bucks a month on subscriptions. Your statement says you're burning over 200. Look, it sounds wild, but you're sitting right in the middle of a corporate trap. A national study by C+R Research found a troubling quirk in how our brains handle modern money. When researchers asked people to guess how much they spent on subscriptions every month, the average answer was 86 bucks. Then, the survey made those same people sit down and itemize their actual spending. Category by category, line by line. The real number? 219 bucks. That's $133 slipping out every single month right under your nose. Over a year, that gap between what you think you spend and what you actually spend hides almost 1,600 bucks from your bank account. Today, we're pulling apart the subscription economy. Industry estimates put this market over $500 billion a year, and it's still growing. We're going to break down the exact tricks companies use to turn your phone into a quiet money siphon. And more than that, we're going to look at the corporate playbooks built to make canceling feel like a chore. Here's the thing. The real power move for a modern tech platform isn't getting you to love the product. It's getting you to forget you're paying for it. Ghosts and zombies in the billing stack. To understand how 1,600 bucks slips out of your pocket every year, you have to stop seeing subscriptions as a modern convenience. Start seeing them as a system built to walk right past your spending defenses. I've been through my own accounts and found these exact leaks. When you audit a monthly statement, your recurring bills sort into a few buckets. First, the essentials. The subscriptions you actually use every week. Your main music app, your video platform, the cloud storage holding every photo of your dog. You know the price. You see the value. If the charge fails, you fix it in 5 minutes because your day breaks without it. This is the honest side of the subscription economy. Then you've got the ghosts. Services you used hard for 3 months, until your life shifted. You finished the show. You quit the game. You switched to a different tool. But the app's still sitting on page 3 of your home screen, tucked in a folder labeled Utilities. You don't use it. You just have a vague attachment to the data inside it. You keep telling yourself you'll get back to it next weekend. Companies love the ghosts. As long as an app stays on your phone, your brain files it under potential value instead of money I'm wasting. But the real danger is the third group, the zombies. These are the subscriptions you've forgotten exist. The identity theft protection you signed up for when your data leaked 3 years ago. The editing app you downloaded to crop one photo for a wedding invite. The news site you paid for once to read a single article about real estate. That C+R study found 42% of people are paying for a subscription they've stopped using, but forgot to cancel. The zombie doesn't show up on your phone. It doesn't send push notifications. It just works in the dark, pulling 10 bucks here and 15 there off a card you rarely check. Platforms don't want to cure the zombies. They've built business models around keeping them alive but unconscious. When a developer looks at their revenue chart, they're not only counting active users, they're counting the exact slice of people paying them to do nothing at all. The micro-billing blind spot. Companies didn't stumble into the subscription model by accident. They adopted it because they found a flaw in human wiring. Our brains are built to defend against big financial hits. If someone asks you to hand over $260 for a software package, an alarm goes off. You pause. You weigh it. You go looking for a free alternative. Your brain treats one big transaction as a threat. But watch how that same company sells that same software today. They don't ask for $260. They ask for $21 a month. $21 doesn't trip the alarm. It slides under your radar. It's a microcharge, and your brain files it as background noise instead of a real expense. There's a real principle behind this that behavioral economists call the endowment effect. The moment you feel like you own something, your brain overvalues it, and giving it up starts to hurt. And when the payment gets sliced into small monthly pieces, the link between the money and the service comes apart. Pay cash for something, and the sting lands the second you buy it. You hand over the 20, and the 20's gone. But when a subscription renews on the 14th, at 3 in the morning while you're asleep, there's no sting at all. The money and the service never touch in your mind. Companies know this cold. A $700 yearly bill feels like a commitment. $60 a month feels like nothing. So they charge you a premium to break the cost into bites small enough to swallow without tasting. And once that microcharge is sitting on your card, canceling it feels like more hassle than just letting it ride. The branding shifts, the marketing shifts, but the trick underneath stays the same. The recurring price is the product. Streamflation and the price creep. Here's another hidden mechanism bleeding your account without you noticing. I call it price creep, and lately it's grown into a full corporate phenomenon people have started calling streamflation. Think about how a streaming service or software company raises prices. They almost never double the cost overnight. A jump that big would trigger a wave of cancellations. So instead, they drop a quiet email into your inbox on a Friday afternoon. Subject line: "We're updating our terms and improving your service." Buried in paragraph 4 is the real payload. Your bill's going up $2 a month. $2 feels stupid to fight over. You tell yourself it's two singles. You're not about to spend 20 minutes hunting down a password just to dodge a $2 bump. So you let it go. But look at the actual data. This isn't a hypothetical ladder, it's an industry-wide pivot. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the video subscription category jumped 19.5% in the 12 months ending December 2025. There were 6 major streaming price hikes across the industry in 2025 alone. And look at the long arc. Netflix's standard plan climbed to $17.99. Disney Plus launched at $6.99 and pushed all the way to $18.99. That's a 172% jump. Because the hikes come in tiny steps, your brain keeps resetting what counts as normal. 3 years later, you're paying double what you signed up for, with no memory of how the bill got that high. You never made a decision to spend more. You just took the path of least resistance, over and over. Inside the Iliad Gauntlet. Say you do spot a zombie and decide to kill it. You run face first into a wall of friction. In design, they call this a roach motel. Easy to check in, almost impossible to check out. For years, we assumed this was just lazy design or petty greed. Now we've got court-documented proof of how deep it actually goes. In June 2023, the Federal Trade Commission filed a lawsuit against Amazon. The FTC alleged Amazon used deceptive interfaces, known as dark patterns, to trick millions of people into auto-renewing Prime subscriptions. But the real story was what happened when people tried to leave. Internal Amazon documents came out during the case, and they revealed something wild. Amazon had named its cancellation process Iliad, after Homer's poem about a brutal 10-year war. Sit with that. They didn't see cancellation as a customer service feature. They saw it as a decade-long siege against your willpower, and they named it accordingly. The FTC described the Iliad flow as a 4-page, 6-click, 15-option maze. You couldn't just hit a button. You had to read through manipulative text, click past warning screens, and refuse a stack of offers, all designed to make you give up and quit. Internal emails showed employees knew exactly what they were doing. One document called the sign-up business a bit of a shady world. Another referred to these unwanted recurring subscriptions as an unspoken cancer. Their words. Inside the building. And the scale was enormous. Amazon fought the case for over 2 years. Then, in September 2025, they settled for $2.5 billion. That's a $1 billion civil penalty, the largest in FTC history, plus $1.5 billion in refunds to roughly 35 million customers. Amazon admitted no wrongdoing in the settlement, but the curtain got pulled back anyway. Loud Consumer Tech is a company talking about customer obsession. Quiet Corporate Strategy is building an ancient Greek war maze around the exit, so the cash keeps flowing. The subscriptionization of physical reality. Tech companies won this war so cleanly that old-school hardware industries took notes. We're not just subscribing to software and movies anymore. We're watching physical reality get subscriptionized. Think about it. 10 years ago, you bought a piece of hardware, you owned it, and the transaction was over. You bought a car, and it was yours. Now those objects are turning into recurring revenue. The auto industry's out front, testing how much friction people will swallow before they revolt. Look at BMW. They made global headlines with an $18 a month fee to turn on the heated seats in their cars. The catch? The heating elements were already in the leather. The wires were there. The fuses were there. The factory had already built the whole thing into the car. But if you wanted a warm backside in December, you paid a monthly software toll to switch on a part you'd already bought. The backlash was bad enough that BMW killed the heated seat subscription in September 2023. A BMW board member later admitted, charging for heated seats that way was probably not the best way to start. But the industry didn't quit. It just moved to features that are harder to see. Mercedes-Benz rolled out an acceleration increase subscription for its electric cars. For around $1,200 a year, the company lifts a software cap and lets the motor make more power, shaving a second off your 0 to 60. The car can do it on day one. The speed just sits behind a paywall until you pay. Tesla charges $99 a month for full self-driving. Mazda charges about $10 a month to use remote start from your phone. This quietly rewires how wealth works. You're not building up assets anymore. You're renting your lifestyle from billion-dollar companies who figured out that selling something once is a missed opportunity. The goal now is to turn every object in your home into a standing utility bill. The free trial amnesia. The sharpest weapon in the whole arsenal is the free trial. It works because it leans on that endowment effect, tricking your brain into feeling ownership before you've spent a dime. When an app offers a 7-day free trial, your brain doesn't hear a sales pitch, it hears a gift. You download it, you poke around the premium features, you use the good filters. For 7 days, you feel like someone who owns this thing. But nobody's handing out gifts. They're running a clock. To start that trial, they need your card up front. And 7 days is a long enough gap for the sign-up to fade from your mind, but short enough that you never built the app into your budget. That gap is where they make their money. The trial ends on a Thursday afternoon while you're stuck in a meeting. Often, no reminder comes. No email in your inbox saying, "Hey, we're about to charge you." The trial quietly flips into a paid annual plan, and $120 disappears from your account for a year of an app you opened twice. These trials convert because attention is scarce. A survey of 1,000 Americans found nearly half of them, 48%, had forgotten to cancel a free trial and gotten charged at some point. The platforms aren't winning because the product's essential. They're winning by betting on your packed schedule, your overflowing inbox, and the fact that you're tired. They turn your lack of attention into profit. The churn economy. To map this out fully, you have to see how companies size you up behind closed doors. They don't think of you as a customer. They run you through a metric. Customer lifetime value against customer acquisition cost. Old school retail was simple. A store spent $20 in marketing to get you in the door. You bought a $100 coat, the store made money that day. Subscriptions blow that timeline apart. A software company might spend $80 in ads just to get you to click a free trial link. Cancel the trial right away, and they're out $80. Stay a month at $10, and they're still down $70. They don't break even on you until you've been stuck in the billing stack for months, which creates what insiders call the churn problem. Churn is the percentage of subscribers who quit each month. Cutting churn is worth a fortune to these platforms, and that's exactly why they pour money into building friction into the cancel flow. So how do they protect the number? They hire data teams to predict the day you're most likely to bail. If their system notices you haven't opened the language app or the fitness tracker in 12 days, it flags you as a cancellation risk. And they don't go quiet. They hit you with a targeted push notification or an email dangling a free premium reward if you log back in within 24 hours. They're not trying to teach you Spanish or get you fit. They're running an emergency intervention to protect a retention metric. You're a data point in a war over the cancel button. The vampire drain. This all gets worse if you've got money moving through several cards and accounts. That's when it compounds into something I call the vampire drain. The vampire drain happens when your recurring fees are scattered across different financial rails. You've got a primary debit card, an old credit card you keep for travel points, a shared account with your partner, a PayPal wallet, and the Apple subscriptions menu buried in your iCloud settings. Because the charges never land in one place, your brain never feels the full weight of the stack. You glance at your main credit card, see $40 of subscriptions, and figure you're fine. But you forgot the $5 of iCloud storage hitting your old debit card, and the $80 a year fitness app on PayPal, and the tool tied to your work email that auto-bills your personal account every quarter. It's a multi-front hit on your cash flow, and no single statement ever shows the whole thing. Companies love this fragmentation. They offer a dozen ways to pay because they know one clean total is the enemy. If every subscription you owned landed on one page with a big, bold number at the bottom, you'd run an audit by tomorrow morning. Spread across 5 payment channels, the number stays invisible, and you stay signed up. The annual billing lock-in. There's one more move that drains your account while pretending to save you money. The Choose Annual and Save 20% toggle. You've seen this screen 100 times. You're signing up for a design tool or a project tracker. Monthly's $15. Right next to it, an option that works out to $12 a month, if you pay for the whole year up front. Your brain sees a deal. You figure you're beating the system, saving $3 a month. You tap it and drop $144 in one click. Now fast forward 6 months. Your project's done. You've stopped using the tool. On the monthly plan, you'd have seen that $15 charge, gotten annoyed, and canceled. Your loss would have been capped. But you took the annual route to save a few pennies, so the company's already got your $144 locked away. They don't care if you never log in again. They almost prefer it, because a customer who never shows up costs them nothing to serve. The annual plan is a risk transfer machine. The company hands you a tiny discount, and in exchange, you eat all the risk of your own habits changing. It's an instant cash injection for them, funded entirely by your optimism about future you. The death of click to cancel. For a minute there, it looked like the government might actually step in. In October 2024, the FTC finalized a rule called click to cancel. The idea was simple and fair. Companies would have to make canceling as easy as signing up. Join in one click, leave in one click. No Iliad mazes, no phone queues, no retention scripts. Watch how the corporate world responded. They didn't rebuild their apps to comply, they hired lawyers. A coalition of industry groups, including the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, sued to block the rule. They argued the FTC had overstepped and that the regulation would hurt the economy. It worked. On July 8, 2025, 6 days before Click to Cancel was set to take effect, a federal appeals court struck it down on procedural grounds. The rule froze. It never spent a single day in force. And the tell is right there in the open. Companies don't burn millions in legal fees fighting a rule unless that rule threatens the money. They fought Click to Cancel because easy cancellation would gut their numbers. They need the friction. They need the roach motel to protect the metric. So if the law won't clear your path, you're going to have to clear it yourself. Taking back control. Look, I'm not telling you to cancel your internet, throw your phone in a lake, and start mailing typed letters to escape the modern world. That's paranoia, not intelligence. The subscription model isn't some unbeatable ghost. It's a system built to feed on autopilot spending. The second you flip your accounts from autopilot back to manual, the whole corporate edge falls apart. Instead of waiting for a legal fix that isn't coming, you fix your own billing stack. 3 steps. First, kill the fragmentation. Pick one card, one account, and make it your billing hub. Move every recurring subscription and trial onto it. If a service won't take that card, or it's stuck in some old PayPal loop, clear it out. That one move breaks the vampire drain. It forces every hidden zombie to line up in the same place, where you can see all of them at once. Second, run a 14-day filter. Go down that one consolidated statement and, for each service, ask one question. Have I actually gotten value out of this in the last 2 weeks? Not 2 months ago, not in the ideal version of your schedule, the last 14 days. If the answer's no, kill it. And don't let the app guilt you with a sad cartoon or a warning about losing your data. These platforms are desperate for the recurring cash. If you genuinely need the thing again next year, they'll let you back in with 2 clicks, probably with a discount to win you over. Third, hack the free trial loop. The second you type your card in for a trial, don't close the window and promise yourself you'll remember to cancel next week. Open your calendar right then. Set an alert for 24 hours before the billing hits and label it Cancel or Pay. Real financial control isn't about cutting out convenience or living like a minimalist. It's about knowing where your money's going. Enjoy the platforms, stream the shows, pay for the software that actually makes your work, your health, or your day better. Just don't let a $500 billion industry tax you for being busy. Because the easier it is for an app to pull money out of your account while you sleep, the harder you're working for that money while you're awake. The valuation game. At the end of the day, the subscription model isn't a design that evolved for your benefit. It's a financial instrument tuned to smooth out earnings reports for Wall Street. Tech companies want your $20 a month over a one-time $200 sale because predictable, recurring revenue pumps up their stock valuation. They're trading your awareness for their tidy balance sheet. They're not offering a better deal out of kindness. They're betting you're too busy living your life to notice the leaks. So go notice them. If this made you want to open your banking app and clear out a few zombies tonight, hit that like button. It helps the channel more than you'd think. See you in the next one.